Hey y'all, welcome to Heart of the Podcast with MSTC. I'm Mel.
I'm George.
Yeah, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Nick.
So we wanted to start with, we have a couple of topics to discuss today, but we wanted to start with, this is like the third week in January. We just did, Gamers Choice, our locals just did a 3v3, which myself, George, and Joseph went to. And we want to talk about some of the things that we experienced. Joseph, do you want to start with how you felt like we did?
We did really well. And by we, I mean Mel and George. I decided to bring in a new deck, and it wasn't all that good. But alas, I did learn a lot from the deck, and a lot of people had to read my cards, which is what I was hoping to win by people not knowing my deck. But overall, I mean, I did great. Most of it, I faced round one, round two. We faced or I faced Tier Elements, Ishizu. Round three, I faced Dark World, which was my only win. Round four and round five. So round four was Tier Elements, and then round five we just got to buy. And then on round six, we faced the people that we uh faced again on round four. So I got a rematch, and it was my time for the comeback, and I did not get my comeback. So
Oh,
and I was playing Mekanko Libromancer.
yeah,
So
I was just gonna say to reiterate by for a new deck, the deck is legal, yes, like Friday, and
right.
this tournament was Saturday.
Right. So I feel like the deck performed well. I think just choices. I have to know like where to make the right choices. Overall, I was pretty pleased with it. So, and I got a lot of looks for the deck. So it was fun. I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
I remember a couple people were like, "Yo, can I like check that deck out? I've never seen these cards before."
Yeah, and
So that
everybody was
was really
like,
cool.
"CR already?
Mm.
Sheesh."
You're rich.
Yeah.
George,
If
George,
they only knew.
How about you, George?
So I
Wait,
bought.
hold on. So Joe,
Oh, go ahead.
just to
hmm
clarify for the listeners. So Joe, your
hmm
overall record was what?
My overall record was a whopping. And get a Joseph, can you please edit a drum roll over here, please? Thank you. It's gonna be 1-4.
Gotcha. Okay, go ahead, George.
Yeah, so I bought Old Faithful Thunderies.
Yeah.
And it performed exactly how I thought it was going to. To be honest, I think I went in and I said, I'm really not worried about tier elements or anything like that. I was like, I felt like coming in, I was like the stronger player. So I know my first match, I think it went by relatively quick considering. Um, and then I kind of like so I probably shouldn't be saying this, but here's my like thought process. Sometimes like I either get too psyched, and then I either put myself too high on a pedestal or too low, and then I just have to like keep myself on a medium, so I know like okay, this is fine. Um, because after our first match, we went to top tables. We were like at the top table. We were at table one,
Number
and
one.
Hmm.
yeah, it was like I psyched myself out. I felt like, to be honest, I felt like I was definitely the better player. Um, I know we ended in a tie, but it didn't really matter because Joe and Mel had already lost. So even if I would have won, it wouldn't have mattered. So like, I didn't want to play it out, but maybe I should have, but I didn't. Um, then after that, like after I take my first loss, I've always said it. Like after I take my first loss, I'm super hard on myself, and then the following game I played against Sword Soul, which not to say anything about Sword Soul, I know that it's a great deck, but I don't lose to
Yeah,
Sword.
it is.
I don't like I don't I want to sound cocky, but I don't lose to Sword Soul, and I lost to Sword Soul. I
Yeah,
think
okay,
I got
buddy.
2-0'd by Sword
Yeah,
Soul,
Flu
and
Flu has a genuinely pretty good matchup against Sword Soul if you just get rid of their tokens.
then but that's the thing. Like I was like two in my head, and I was like, it's whatever. And that was the match that Joseph carried us actually because I know the game that Mel had was actually really good, and then
Hmm.
we were just kind of waiting on Joe to finish, and he did, and he won. Luckily, bringing us um back up to one of the higher tables.
Winning when it counts and losing when it does count as well.
The great thing about I think the third match was it no fourth match at this point was I had no idea who I was playing, and I think that that was like to my benefit because
It sure was.
I so I tend to not respect, and not in a way where I'm like being disrespectful, but in my own head I'm just like I have zero respect for you, and I'm just gonna I feel like I'm already coming in the better player, and I think when I have that mindset, um I do way better. And then I got psyched out after
After
they
I
were
told
like,
you.
"Did you?" Yeah, they told me like, "Did you know who you just played?" And then I was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" And then it kind of like I got in my own head, and then once we got into Top Cut, I played him again, and I got too old. But again, I was in my head. Um, I should have. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have heard it. Maybe I should have just.
It was Yugi himself for everybody wondering in the
Yeah, it was
audience.
Yugi, and then he turned to Yami Yugi and just too old me. Um, but yeah, it was great matches. I really enjoyed the people that were there. Like everybody was super helpful. I was telling Mel and Joe that there are certain things that we can teach each other, right? Whether it's we learn it from a dueling book replay or
Right.
any kind of game that we had that's not within the play group. But when I was there, like there was a lot of people were trying to bait me out, and because I think because I was not aware of that strategy,
Mhm.
I never gave into it, and
Mm.
people were kind of like shocked,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "What are you doing?" I'm waiting for like an evenly matched, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, I really don't have anything to do here," so it's like, okay, and I think they thought I was gonna shotgun something, and which is a great strategy, I think,
Yeah.
Do you want to
but
explain? Do you want to explain what he did exactly?
yeah, so I set up a board, right?
Typical
Thunder's
Thunderboard.
board, classic Thunderboard, M-Pen, barrier statue, uh, face down, and
Map.
map. Um,
I love to see it.
you love to see it.
A thing of beauty.
Perfect.
Peak Yu-Gi-Oh. Peak
There's only
Yu-Gi-Oh.
peak. Oh, there's only one board even more perfect, and that's Zexel. But I digress.
Oh, shut your mouth.
Um, so with that board, it happened more than once. Players you really can't do much, right? Unless like you're playing the mirror or you're playing some kind of like bird iteration. Um, so they end main phase, enter battle, end of battle, and just kind of like sit there and wait to see if I was gonna do anything. And then again, I had no idea what this tech was, and I was like,
Staring
okay,
contest.
Yep.
yeah, I was like, okay, but yeah, they were like staring, and I was just kind of like, I don't know what's going on.
I also do want to make note that we on the round 2 when we went to the first top table, um we were playing against really good players. Like these are guys that regularly go to GC. Shout out to
Yeah,
Jose,
shout out
who's
to them.
an amazing player in there.
Yeah,
But we
yeah,
were
they
we
were
were
no, they were
we were
all really
facing
good.
regular players. Yeah.
No. Like they were there. They were all playing meta, which is
Wait.
fine. I had no problem with it. But like I said, I learned a lot of stuff from playing these top players that I will definitely bring into the next tournament that we go to, even if it's not a 3v3, and I'm just playing by myself.
Wait, hold on. I have a question. So he said this battle, end of battle. Did he activate evenly matched?
He
No.
didn't have it.
You didn't have
It
Just
was
to.
a
bluffing.
bait.
What a fucking mook.
That's an incredible strategy because he would.
No, it's not.
No, it
Yes.
is because like
It
he's not
forces you
gonna.
to shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What are you gonna shotgun? There's nothing to Dreaming Town.
Well, that was the thing. It was you want to like the idea was activate it so he could put Apex Avian on the board.
Nah, I think you guys are giving this player too much credit. He just
No,
sounds
Oh,
like
no,
that's
no,
the
no.
strat.
sounds
That's
like
the
a
strat.
scrub. Nah.
yeah.
Two
You put
different
Avian on the
top players did it.
Like
Yeah.
as a good players will take that as a cue and then think about it. But like, George didn't take that. Not saying that George is not good, but it's just George wasn't phased by it.
It's on
Yeah.
them. I don't even main deck Apex Avian.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
No, because it's like I
definitely
guess they want to bait it out, so you don't have like that Ryza play anymore. You only have Apex Avian.
right.
No, I mean I get it. It's just like I don't know. don't know. I don't think that's big brain. I think that's like small to medium sized brain. Debate, not what you did. What you did was
Fair.
fine. If
That's
they're
fair.
like end battle, end of battle, I would have been like, okay, yeah.
That's what I did because I also thought it was small brain, but then after a while, I'm like, wait, I get it now.
Yeah. Because well, the rationale is that they're not going to be able to do anything in battle phase because they have to summon a monster. But if they bait Dreaming Town, that means that all they have to deal with is Apex and map versus
So,
also dealing with the trap card.
But
so
one more thing that was a thing of beauty, and Mel witnessed this.
Mhm.
So I run two
Oh, yeah.
barrier statues.
Yeah.
Gross.
yeah, no, that's very common now, actually.
That
honestly.
second barrier statue was just like
They
the
just,
nail in the
the
coffin.
jaws dropped.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
it's common now. A lot of people are doing that now. I think I'm doing it too in my flu deck. I just haven't played flu in a sec. So George, ultimately, what was your record at the end of the day?
ultimately, I
2-1-1.
won one. I
No,
tied
two.
one.
You won 2.
Yes, I won two. I tied one because
But
we
yeah, you
we
didn't
just like
finish
kind
it.
of like yeah. I
Right.
don't want to take that. I don't want to take that loss because we were in game three, and then I mean I'll take the team loss because right we lost as a
Right.
team, but
Hmm.
there was no point in playing it out, so I'll take it as a tie. And then I lost it on Top Cut, so
Gotcha.
And
Um,
overall,
Mel,
like,
argue.
I'm glad I'm glad I'm happy with how I played,
Yeah,
considering I
oh
thought I
yeah.
was gonna do
Yeah.
a lot worse.
No, it sounds good. Honestly, sounds like you
Yeah,
did pretty good.
You did great.
yeah. Mel, I know you were playing the best deck in the room.
Yeah, yeah, right. So I was playing Sword Soul Tenyi. It was the first
Best
time I
deck.
took it to a tournament. Um, I had a very interesting road to the king or whatever it's called. So round one I played Scareclaw Adventure Bestial. 2-0'd that, and Joseph, you kind of hit it on the head, with the exception of well, sort of. Half of my games ended in
Mm.
10 minutes, or like
Mhm.
half my matches ended in 10 minutes.
Right.
The other half went to like 45 minutes,
That's right.
which was just very interesting because I was not expecting to do that. So that Scareclaw Adventure Bestial, I 2-0'd them in 10 minutes. He just, Scareclaws, unfortunately, are one of those decks that's, does your deck lose to Ash? You're a rogue deck.
Mhm.
Um, which was very sad. But so it actually gave me the ability to watch both of your matches, and I had never played Ishizu Tier in a tournament, so I was able to watch what you all did, and what you had to face against. Round two, I got O2'd in 10 minutes against Sprite Bestial against Jose, and we all talked about this, but he's played Sword Soul Tenyi so much that
Mhm.
the first game I had what I saw was no playable cards. Passed. He drew, laughed, showed his neighbor his hand, and said pass. So I was like, okay, give me anything. I
Yeah.
draw Pot of Desires, so I'm like, all right, Pot of Desires. Draw two, draw double Ash. So that was fun, and I had an Ash in hand already. So I
Nice.
passed, and then he was able to OTK me with Bestials because he was able to get a dark in the graveyard, and he just went off
Mhm.
from there.
Mhm.
Um, it was just a hand, and then game two, I like set up a board, but he had a Bestial and I think an Ash, so I was only able to end on one. I think I was ending on Barone, I want to say,
Mhm.
and he just overpowered me, and we talked about it, and he was like, my hand game one was Vishuda, Effect Veiler, Ash, Imperm, and a Bestial, I think. No, another, maybe it was another Imperm, and then I drew Desires into two Ash, and I showed him, and he was like, oh, you had plays. You could have done Vishuda and then special summon Vishuda, summon Veiler, then make Shishao, or you could have done Vishuda, summon Ash, make Barone, or anything like that. Which I was like, oh, I didn't even see that. Which was great because next game I did that exact move, which was really cool.
Mhm.
So round three, I 2-1 Kashtira, and had I think one of the biggest brain plays I had where he was that player was very confident. He was like game three, we were down to the wire. We had both banished a bunch of stuff, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna banish your whole deck," and I was like, "I don't." He's like, "Do you want to just scoop? I'm gonna banish your whole deck," and I was like, "No, you're not. I only have 14 banished face down, and I have 17 cards in deck."
Oh
And he
yeah, I
was like,
remember he made you count in front of him.
he made me count it out, and I counted it out, and he was like, "You have 15." I was like, "No, it only counts banished face down." And he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, you only have three cards, and there's only like 3 minutes left, or whatever, or like 5 minutes left." and I had a long one and had a long one and I think an imperm in hand. So I drew impermed his. I drew a second long one, impermed something. I can't remember what it was, and then I made he hadn't banished Chen Ying yet, so I made Chen Ying, which was at 5400 attack, and it was dropping his it was dropping the um, Diabolos to 0, and I hit him for 54, and he had made it with Astra Karibo, and he had no way to get rid of my Chen Ying because it was too big, and he had one card in hand, and he just like passed at that point. And I was like, that's why you never give up.
Yeah.
That's
And then
where
round
that
4.
Mel never give up.
Oh yeah, never
clutch.
Hell yeah.
I would've
I
been
was
like,
like, I'm not giving up. Because I think at that point, George had lost. Or no, Joseph had lost and George had won. I can't remember which one it
Oh,
was.
that's when I lost. I had
Oh,
already
you
lost.
lost. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
Joseph had won.
Yeah.
Um,
And
then,
the guy was cocky, just like your
Yeah.
player.
Yep. Your guy also didn't know how Dark Worlds worked. I was like watching and I was like, I can't focus too much on this because I need to use all my brain power for this, but he doesn't know how Dark Worlds worked.
Yeah, he was gonna hand move me. He's like, I'm gonna destroy your whole hand, and then I bishop him once, and I'm like, okay, and then he hands on no board.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
That's why the hand loop version's not the best version. And then round 4, I was paired up against Xu Pingzhu, which is for those who don't know, he is a pro player and a very prominent judge. He was on a Shizu tier. He 2-0'd me the first round. I misplayed really bad against him the first round, and then it was crickets from there. I had no chance. And then in Top Cut, we played him again, so I played Xu Ping again, and this time I was much more prepared for him. And he had 2 very, very good top decks to finish me off, and I was like, oh, damn it, I wanted to beat him, but I learned a lot. The Bestials are incredibly powerful. I was not expecting them to be MVPs, but they straight up stop tier sometimes. I was blown away. I was like, I'm used to Shizu tier just being able to do what they want. But the Bestials just are like, no, your turn on my turn just ends here because you can't keep shuffling. You can't keep milling.
Yeah.
And the other cards so I knew that the Ishizu cards were really broken because of the mill effect, but that shuffle back effect is really strong too.
Oh yeah.
Because the amount of times that I was trying to I didn't have a Worm in Graveyard or a Sword Soul card because he kept shuffling it back with the Ishizu cards. I was like, damn, that's tough because at multiple points, if I had had 1 in Graveyard, I could have killed him, and he just kept like, nope, you don't have enough, you can't keep going. And I was just like, this is crazy. And he was playing Crystal Beast Emerald Tortoise, and I was like, this is so strange. Why is he playing this card? And the last card that he drew was Rainbow Bridge of Salvation to search the field spell.
Yeah, the guy next to him, I believe all of them were playing
We
that
were all
same
playing the
exact
same
build.
deck. Yeah, like
Yeah.
identical.
And
Yep.
they had the Dark World fusion as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is insane.
Super cool tech. So my ultimate record was 2-3 with 2-2, and then we lost in Top Cut. But
What my favorite quote about Chuping, he said they were playing all of them were playing Chimera, and they were like, yeah, Chimera is really good. You just go polymerization, random bullshit, go, and then you just win, you know. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's pretty
I mean,
funny.
he's not wrong.
Yeah.
No, it was really intense, and because we were able to make top 8, we got an invite to another GC tournament that'll be happening later on. I think they're actually hosting one this weekend as well. But yeah, we did surprisingly well. Not that we're not good players, but like Joseph was playing a deck he didn't even have all the cards for until yesterday. George was playing a deck that a lot of people. It's been in the meta long enough that people really want to stop it, and so have outs for it. And then I was playing a deck that I had never played competitive, like at an actual tournament before. So, considering all those things, I think we did very well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think,
Yeah, to be
and
honest,
also
I
we
didn't-
don't. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I said to be honest, I didn't think we were gonna make Top Cut. I thought we were really gonna go like X3 leave.
No,
Yeah.
that's why you don't leave.
We also don't
I
go
actually-
to Gamer's Choice often too.
I'll
so
be surprised. When you guys were talking, because you were telling me your records in real time. It was unclear to me how the math that you guys got top 8. But
So the
Still-
last round we had a bye, which I wish we had played again, but there
thing?
were 2 teams, I think, that tied. And so they only got 1 point versus our 3 points for winning, or for technically winning.
Ah,
So we were able to get, I think ultimately we ended with 9 points
Yeah, but we
versus
were like we came
their
in
7
seventh.
points.
Yeah, we came in seventh out
Yep,
of
I think there were 20 teams there.
Mm.
So that was pretty cool. And then
Yeah.
um, got some prizing. So that was overall, it was really cool.
now there was so much tier Shizu. It was insane.
I mean,
I mean that
it's the
that's
top
I
deck.
know it's
that's to
tier
be
zero
expected, I
format.
think.
I know it's a tier 0 format, but it's also like, god damn.
Mm.
I don't.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm glad is that I didn't play the Flynderese mirror match. So
Yeah, I didn't see a single other Flunder player there, I don't think.
mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure why you're surprised. I mean, that's the way it was. That's the way the meta is. I'm surprised you saw a cash player, given that that deck's not done yet.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I
think,
I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
surprised I saw myself playing Mechanical Libromancer. So
yeah. I mean, I think with Kestra, it's kind of like, I remember when the last time I was at GC, I played against a Despia player before Branded Fusion came out, and they were still able to make a lot of cool stuff. And Kestra is no joke when it has a lot of searchers, it has a couple starters. Their boss monsters are really big. Astral Karibo really helps, I feel like.
Well,
Mhm.
you know, as I've been playing it, now that I've been playing it, it's until it when it gets the new support, it always gets going. But now it's like if it gets going, it gets going, and if it doesn't get going, then it just ends on nothing.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, which I think that happened the first game. He like had Unicorn and Birth, and that was it. And then I was able to just like punch through an OTK for game 1. But game 2, he banished. He had so much advantage that I couldn't, because the trap. He kept activating the trap in the continuous spell, and I had no way to get rid of it. I think it was Birth, and what's the trap?
By sleep?
Prep, Kastira prep.
Yes, he kept activating them to like banish from face down because I had no way to get. I like his monsters were too big and I had to get rid of them first, and he just kept getting advantage back with the spell and trap. But
Yeah, Kastira prep is really good. It's very sticky.
right, yeah. So that was our time. I think the next section we want to talk about is in a similar vein, and I'm gonna say, Joseph, edit this in the Yugi drawing monster cardo. That phrase that he says.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
So we wanted to talk about what is the best top deck we've ever had, or currently that we've been playing with. Nick, we've been talking a lot, so I'm going to start with you. What is the best top deck you've had? Describe the situation, what you were hoping for, and what you got.
They have to be a monster.
It can be whatever you want.
Okay. Well, this is tough. I think that the best top deck I ever had was, well, it's tough to say ever, but like recently I had a hand. I was playing Kashtira, and I had a hand that really couldn't do anything, and I was like, um if I draw Birth, then I can make 2 XZs and I'll be able to do everything. Because otherwise I just had like a bunch of names. So it was like like when you play Yu-Gi-Oh! And you have one of those hands where you're like, I could do everything if I have one enabler, basically. And I top decked Birth, and I was because otherwise that hand was basically like Fenrir pass, and I was like, all right, you know what?
Right.
So I top decked Birth, and my end board was Diabolos, Shangri-Ira, a Set Solemn, and Birth. And then
Mm.
I think I made one of the things with Astral Karibo, and it was like pretty great, honestly. So that was a really amazing top deck. And then I think follow up would be any of the multiple times that I've channeled Jaden Yuki and was playing heroes and basically ran out of resources, didn't die, and top decked Fusion Destiny. Because then if you top deck Fusion Destiny, you can basically make like if you top deck Fusion Destiny and you have the materials in deck still, you can go like +7. So that's happened a couple times. That's always nice. Or for comedic effect, even if it gets stopped, when I top deck a hero lives, whenever I top deck a hero lives, I slam it on my game mat, regardless of the state of the game, and that's always a lot of fun. Even if it gets ashed, it's just really fun. So,
Be
but yeah,
mine's
like
activated.
yeah, absolutely. So my most recent, is top decking Birth. Birth is for those who don't know, Kashtira, if you haven't played against Kashtira yet, Kashtira Birth is
Sleep.
ridiculous. By sleep, yeah, of course, absolutely. That card is like disgusting. It's ridiculous.
I mean, we can all appreciate a good Kingdom Hearts reference, but that's really
Always.
cool. That's a cool one. Joseph, what about you?
So I have two that are on the equal realm of amazing card draws. So the first one was when I was actually playing Virtual World. So this was when I was first picked up the deck and started playing Yu-Gi-Oh again. Went to GC, and this guy was just playing Dragoon Necro Valley Pass. He didn't
Sounds like a George.
he didn't summon Dragoon. He just activated Necro Valley, set 4, and passed. And my top deck was Harpy's Feather Duster. I was main
Ooh.
decking it, and I just slapped it down, and he was like, "Yep." And then that was 2 Emperors, there can only be one, and I forgot what the other one was, but I just wiped this whole entire board, and I just proceeded to OTK.
Mm.
Then the next one, which was probably the most satisfactory, or the one that had the most satisfaction, was I was doing the Sword Soul Mirror, except this guy was playing adventure. He was playing the what was that deck with the mixture
Pile
of
deck?
everything? What was it?
The
Based?
pile deck.
Based.
Yeah,
Yeah, based. So he was
Mm.
playing based, but like a weirder version of
God, I
it.
hated that.
And he was slow playing me, like clearly slow playing me. And we were down to the 1 minute, and we ended up in a very simplified game state. He was poking me with I forgot who it was. I think it was Moyi, but he
Mhm.
didn't get to activate the effect. We were just like slamming with each other, and I was 500 life points, and um he was down to like 3,000, 4,000 life points, and I just top deck Ecclesia, and then Ecclesia is just a 1 starter. I had to, since I already had cards in graveyard, so just I proceeded to OTK him from there. It's like, yeah, it was amazing. He just was like, whatever, man. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. That's right.
Idiot.
That's good for slow playing.
I
George,
just as a brief aside, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you, George. Based made me want to not play Yu-Gi-Oh more than Tier Limits. Just I'm gonna say it was 90% because the name was fucking so cringe, and 10% because they was like it's just a bunch of engines, and I was like, okay, that's a lot of fun, isn't that something? I at least appreciate Tier for being its own thing. I gotta be honest.
That's
I
fair.
agree.
George, what about you?
So for me, I feel like I have always drawn the cards that I needed when I played Grand Majin.
Mm.
I feel like literally, like if I need Grand Maju, I can almost muster him up, and it's gonna be the next card I draw. Or if I need a pot of desires to power up my Grand Maju, it's gonna come up. And I think I've said this before to you guys. I'm like, I almost call it, and I'm like, Grand Maju's coming. I can feel it in my loins, and there he is. So I think it's not just one time. It's multiple times where even in like tournaments and regionals, like when I need Grand Maju, it's almost like I'm cheating, but I'm not. And I'm glad that I don't ever call it out because then people would probably say like, "Oh, you're a fucking cheater. How did you know that was the next card?" But yeah, I my Valentine their asses
Adding perfume to your cards.
Yeah.
sometimes.
I mean, it's pretty obvious to smell it out because of the stench of the Yu-Gi-Oh players.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Right. That's
Oh my god.
God.
I told this to George, but this was the first time in an event that I went in, and I walked in and just got a whiff of smelly and
Yeah.
sweaty guys, and I'm like, ugh, that's
A
disgusting.
must.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the must.
It smells like everybody had ran like 3 miles. We know goddamn well none of them.
Yeah.
I wear my marathon hoodie just so that people could see it. My best top deck happened at that tournament. I was down to 3 cards in deck with 2 minutes to go, and I needed a worm. I needed something that I could pitch for long one because he had nothing left, and it was literally I was like, oh my god, this because he knew that I had long one in hand, and he knew that like if I drew any kind of sword soul or worm card, I was gonna kill him. And that way was just like this would be great because I think at that point all four of you were watching.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the time, this is the moment, we have to do it. So I was that's probably the best one that I've had. And then I think another one was Monstacado with Cyber Dragon. I remember I was down. I think
Classic.
yeah, I was. I didn't draw Cyber Dragon, but I drew the best fusion I could have possibly drawn when I drew Overload Fusion, which was a one of at the time, um, and it was or one of like one in the deck, and I
Mhm.
drew it against. I was in a regional. I think I was. It was the last run, and it was if I won this, I was gonna I was gonna go positive, and he was playing I think Fright for Fluffle, and he had like he had burned everything. He had nothing in hand, and I was like, I had my graveyard is loaded up. If I can just make Chimera attack, I will kill him. And
Mhm.
I was like, where are the cards? Guide me. And I drew Overload Fusion, which for those who are the uninitiated, it's banish uh, Cyber Dragons from the graveyard. Or I think it's Machine Monsters from the graveyard. Summon a Dark Machine Fusion monster from your extra deck, and I was able to make Rampage and kill him with like 1 minute left, and that just
Mhm.
felt like really really cool because I just like broke everything, and it was the first time at a regional that I had gone over 500, so that felt good.
Do you still keep up with that deck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Currently the build people like Regulus wasn't the boon that everybody thought it would be.
No, no,
He's
it
so
It's
cool
like
though.
he looks cool.
didn't appear to be for any deck, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
It's an Omni, which is
I mean,
crazy.
it was
Right.
good, like one of those like surprise decks when like it was what
It was good
the
for a week.
It was good when the format wasn't solved,
Yeah.
Well,
basically.
it was also better when you had to use the extra monster zone
Yeah.
because Mega Fleet Dragon is a hell of a card.
Oh, you mean
Um,
Cyber Dragon? Sure. I'm sorry. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. You're not talking about Therion. Yes, you're correct.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not. Therion, aside from the Sun Avalon version, not very good.
But it's making a resurgence.
It
They're
is.
going back to $50 each.
You know,
Yeah.
I think that a deck like Cyber Dragon, much like Hero, will have its day. Just patience is key. Actually, so if I could, maybe I'll go back and change my answer. By the way, you remember? I think it was me. This is a while ago now. I think it was me, Joe, and you, Mel. We did a 3v3. Do you remember? This is a long time ago.
Mhm.
And I played Hero that day, and we played that group of people, and I was playing an Eldritch player, and he was
Oh
just like,
yes.
he
The
was just
first
like,
game.
yeah, the first game, and he was just like so cocky, such like a cocky dickhead, and I
College
think that
players, am I right?
Yeah. Right.
well, no, George
Shut
is a
up.
delight, but this guy was he was such an asshole. And I top decked Lancia and basically just like fucking ended his career because I had like everything set up to like mask change 0 into acid. And if I didn't have that Lancia, I would have gotten fucked, and I beat him, and he didn't even look at me after he was done because there was like a minute left, and he was like so mad, and he was like what he's like, did you top deck that Lancia? I was like, yeah, bro. But he was so mad. Oh man, that was so satisfying. Just because he was such an asshole.
Right.
Oh man, yeah,
No, that's
You know
fair.
what sucks is when the reverse uh heart Monster Cardo happens to you when you're like, yeah,
Oh
I got you
yeah,
on the ropes, and then they draw the one of or they
Yeah.
draw the card they need.
bro, that was shooping against me. It was game one. I had Chen Ying up. He had no way to kill it. He baited two of my negates, and then he forced my Chen Ying, and then he Kelbeck shuffled it back in the deck and killed me. I was like, the one card in your hand that could kill this thing. I was so mad. And then he drew droplets in the last game and sent Rainbow Bridge to search the field spell, and then he had. I realized I didn't say this. At that game, he had 4 cards in deck with Ishizu tier, and 3 of them were tier names. And I was like, you drew the one card that would let you actually play. I was so mad.
Good players be
yeah.
good.
Good players be good. Speaking of good players being good, we wanted to talk a little about the OCG metagame report just came out. I think it was yesterday or this morning.
It was like I saw it like when I was like on the way to work.
Yeah,
So it was
and
real, yeah.
I am continually blown away that tier is still doing so well despite having so many cards hit and hurt,
Are
and
you
one of
though?
them banned.
Yeah, are
Are
you
you
though?
though?
Are you really though?
I
Yes.
am, but
Yes, I am
bro,
actually, yeah.
Every single tier element card is gonna get banned, and it's still gonna top.
Well, not you know what, it's gonna be like Zodiac, where it's gonna get to the point where Konami's like, we're going to put all of these cards at one or ban them, and then you simply won't be able to play it, and it'll just be like one of those things that like herpes comes back every now and then because Zoo always comes back a little, and it'll just forever be really fucking annoying. And I wish they hadn't printed it, to be honest with you.
Like how I cannot understand how they can still play when they have a whole fusion band that they
look.
can't use.
So here's, I think I was
Like
when we were just
Stryker
chatting.
died when they got lost engage.
No, well, we were talking about this in our little, like, we have a group chat where we chat, and it's because tier is, it doesn't matter what you ban or limit because it's a math deck. So as long as you're running the right names and the right ratios, and you banish them to the, or not banish, when you mill them to the graveyard, it's math. You can't, Konami can't ban its way out of fucking statistics. That's why it keeps topping. The only way to solve this problem is to, like, ban or limit all the cards. Or
Yeah.
or it's a math problem. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what they do. So
It's
that's why it's like, even with all this shit on the list in the OCG, it still tops because it's math. It's just math.
Also, to include to the math as you're talking about, so they have several searchers in the deck that I'm looking at the first place from the 3v3 that they did. They choose a tier element. The deck is playing 2 copies of Foolish Burial, which Foolish is Solic, which is just Solic is just a Rhoda. So that already is 2 cards right there. There's currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 tier element names, so you have already 9 copies of tier elements. And then you have your Kashtira Fenrir, which can search you the Kashtira tier element, which that on itself is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 13 names already.
Yeah.
And then you have the field spell, and then you have terraforming. That's that's already 2 more names.
Yeah.
So the deck is still there. Like, yeah, there's
Mhm.
just too many ways to get to it.
So actually, just as an aside question here, I don't know the what are the seizure cards free in OCG?
So
All of them?
currently,
2 are limited.
Keldo and
Agito.
Agito are currently limited to 1, which is kind of weird because Agito is typically played at 1 anyways.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
which is
And
hilarious.
Medora and Kelbeck are unlimited.
Which
Yeah.
Kelbeck is the best one out of all of them,
Yeah, I
which is
know.
also insane.
Yeah. So the only thing that's going to stop this in the OCG, at least, is the Konami's desire to make money. They will eventually ban or limit all of them so that they can sell new product. That's really what's. I mean, that's basically it. That's the reality of the
I mean,
situation.
I think the best way to like completely destroy the deck is banning their fusions. You don't even have to touch the main deck. You
Yeah.
literally just ban the fusions and then that's it. The deck is gone.
Yeah. And since we're here, because we're not all doom and gloom over here, there's a lot of Sprite Tri Brigade. I personally kind of like that deck.
Me
I didn't
too.
realize.
So do I.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize Fractal was it too.
Oh, really? Oh, I
Yeah,
did know that actually.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I'm like personally really surprised at Emancipator is there at all, but I'm
Black
not. I'm
Dragon.
not. Yeah, I mean, it's not even that, dude. If you look at the list, it's the new super heavy stuff that brought it over the edge, not Block Dragon. And
I mean, Black
I
Dragon is a hell of a card for that deck.
yeah, I want to be excited about it, but I'm not because a bunch of the cards that they're running are never going to come back here, so it's
Yeah.
cool. There's a little
Black Dragon, Grass, Smoke
yeah,
Grenades.
it's just not fucking happening. Then there's Bestial, some Labyrinth, some Pirelli, and then just a shitload of others, which
Don't
is
you
pretty
fucking
nice.
gloss over Pirelli. I'm gonna talk about them. Fucking dare you. That they're so like Pirelli's a personal pet deck of mine, no pun intended. I'm really excited to play that deck. But
Oh, they have another
they're
main deck?
they have another main deck, Lily, and it makes the deck so consistent
Oh,
because
so
it's search.
that's the rose of the deck.
Yes, so it's no.
Oh, wow, look at that.
No.
I didn't know.
Lily is the Ray
Support.
because Pirelli is not. Pirelli's good, but the problem is its effect is randomized, so you activate the top 3. Whereas Lily lets you search the continuous spell that lets you reveal 3, and your opponent adds 1 of them to your hand, so it makes it a lot more consistent. But the actual best piece of it is this new quick play, which lets you draw a card on both players' turns if it's equipped to an Xyz monster, and it's not once per turn.
And the cool part is that Zeus is at 1 over there, which the
Mhm.
cool part about that is that the deck is not just Zeus that deck. It's
No.
actually its own deck.
Yeah,
So-
Zeus
Actually,
is like
this
Zeus
is
is a
cool.
backup plan. Yeah.
This is a cool list. I like this. This is the
Yeah.
type of deck I like.
And
I like that.
Sleepy Memory gives a reason to play the best named card ever in Pearl-Yeep, because the problem with Pearl-Yeep when
Yeep.
it's here is that it doesn't let you draw a card when you act, you can shuffle 3 back and you can Xyz summon, but it doesn't let you draw a card, so you're not really getting any advantage back. But if you make one of them with sleeping memory, then you're able to draw a card, at least one card, because you can attach 2, and then you can draw 2 cards.
Hmm.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Kind of sad I don't see any enemy conquest stuff in here.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's 2 Cashteers. That's neat. 2
yeah.
Exorcister. We love to see it.
There's Valiants.
2 Fluanderies. This is a cool meta. They have an objectively better meta than we do.
They have Maxi. I don't know about that.
I do not want to ever play in a format with Maxi.
Yeah.
I will
Like,
take
I-
at this juncture I would take Max C if our
Nope.
fucking format would
I'll
Go
take
play
Mystic
Master
Mind
Duel then.
back. I'll take Mystic Mind back any day.
Nah,
Mystic Mind.
Maxi, maybe
Right, George?
Maxi all the way.
Okay, well, never mind.
No, y'all didn't play enough Master Duel. That card is a turn ender.
No, I did. That's why I stopped playing Master Duel.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
why we
'cause you-
play
because there's Maxi.
Flunderies.
Yeah, or you play Fluanderies, which they
No, which
you know. Yeah. I don't
no,
know, man. I
Maxi is a poorly designed card.
I like the way their format looks in terms of the variety here. Our format is PP.
For now, they
Yeah,
haven't
for
hit
now.
anything for Tearlament. Over here, Tearlament was like rampant, just as bad as it was over here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would argue theirs was worse.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
way worse there. Yeah, I think that the only difference is that TCG players have a little bit of ADHD and they can't stick to one deck, but it makes it interesting. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
What? No.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't say that. I think I would say like, I think the same thing gets boring. Like, I'm kind of like tired of playing Thunderies. Like, it's not, nothing got hit, and honestly, I don't think anything is going to get hit. But it kind of just gets boring. Like,
No, I hear you, man. I feel the same
you
way.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the hype about Statue getting hit is overblown. I actually don't think they'll hit Statue at all.
I hope so.
I hope they hit either Statue or Featherstorm. I feel like it's rough for a deck.
I'd
to hit
rather
2.
Statue over Featherstorm.
I think Statue keeps a deck like Tearlaments in check, and I will die on that hill.
I gotta agree
until
with
they until Ishizu finds a wind fusion that they can make.
And then they get
Well, I
melee.
mean, if they release that, then that's their own fault for fucking around. Like that's just a bad idea. And I'm not gonna put it past them because that's the type of thing they would do. But
In
I mean,
all honesty, Statue will get hit because of Kashtira, and I've said this before.
oh, because of
Cashier has
the
no-
Falcon, yeah.
It has no business running a barrier section, but it does.
Yeah, it's okay, George. I told you the backup plan is Small World, Rabina, Empen, Barrier Statue of
Water.
the water. Yeah,
Orange.
Torrent. That was the name. I couldn't remember the word torrent. And that's what we'll do. Or we can make vanities like Drytron.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No,
For those of you out there
right now,
listening. Yeah, for those of you out there listening, Drytron is the worst deck ever printed, and if you play it, you should feel bad.
I don't think
Mel.
anybody's playing it right now.
I'm looking to
Not
sell
gonna lie.
mine. I didn't care. I
Please.
really don't
Ah,
care for that.
God,
deck.
I
You know
can't
what?
I can't stand it.
I might play water salads for a little while.
That's
Oh.
just you're going over to the wet salads. Wow.
I see you finally caved in.
How the turns have tabled. Why not
Alright.
Mathmech? Why not just play Mathmech?
Mm,
The other cyber stick.
like it's I think too susceptible to Bystials.
Or George, here we go. Here's a hot idea. You
do it,
could
let's
play Naturia, which is actually good now, or you could play Crystal Beast, which is also actually good now.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
Question List is good.
Crystal Beast
know
is actually good.
To give like a insight to the fans. Like I'm on Flunderies almost exclusively right now, and it's to the point where, not that I feel bad playing against you guys, but I feel like it's a very easy deck,
Thanks.
and I don't know. I feel like Flunderies right now has the out to everything you guys are playing. And not again,
I
not
don't feel any type of way when you play it. I actually don't mind it at all. But I'm
'Cause
biased
'cause
because
you
I
play.
also play Flaunderies.
But like I said, like, and it's not just that, but it's also like the deck is so linear. I mean, yes, there's gonna be certain times where like I have to think, and then I don't like to think. So
Maybe what I should do is I should build Flunderies, and if I'm gonna face you, I'm only gonna playful underrated.
Oh, just make his life miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna scoop. I'm not gonna play you.
Then
no,
that's
so
the point.
I told
That's
you
the
I
point.
always scoop in the mirror match. I don't want to play the mirror match. It's dumb.
It is really dumb. It is really dumb.
But
I mean, that's
here-
kind of like the mirror match in tier element.
so here's where
Yeah.
here's what I was trying to say. Trap tricks might be next.
Mm.
A
That's
better
not a bad
trap deck.
idea. That's not a bad
Not
idea,
Labyrinth, though?
honestly.
Not Labyrinth. The better trap deck.
I mean, Labyrinth has been making some waves in the OCG.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah. I mean, there's always a trap deck. I don't know. I don't know much about trap. You'd have to research it yourself. I don't know too much.
Yeah,
Trap deck
Labyrinth
looks
is
like it's
really
a lot
good
of
right now.
fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could play Kashtira, but you have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
Too much money, to be honest. I
Yeah.
shouldn't have done it. I already went in for it, and I feel like I
I
regret it.
shouldn't have
You're
put
in too
it.
deep.
Well, because
Okay.
no, I am in too deep. Like I have to spend. I already have all the other cards. I have to spend the rest. Like otherwise, what the fuck was the point?
That's right.
Yeah,
And then
I
you
got,
gotta come to
one
tournaments.
unicorn that I just got rid of. But
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did get the goaded deck box. Shout out
Oh,
to Jim.
see, yeah. Shout out to Gemtech.
Oh my God! Wait, did you get 3?
I
No,
got
no,
one.
no. It's the goaded one. It's the
Oh, the goaded one. Yeah, with the scapegoats. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Oh,
got the
very
orange
cute.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
That means
Very
you have to get all the other 3 then.
Now I have to.
I don't
Yeah.
know if we ever agreed, but when we got the bird deck boxes, I think I was like, George, you should give me and Joe one, and then we could all have one. Or you could just say like, I want them all, which is totally understandable.
We did agree to swap them out.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
Articuno.
Real nice. I'm glad that I spent all that money to get them. I am. They're really cool. I'm glad I have all
They
3.
are really
Fucking
cool.
amazing.
Yeah, they look
We
really
could be
cool.
we could be like blood brothers because we'll each have a bird.
Well, you all are not blood brothers. You're all blood brothers with me because I have all 3. I'm
That's
like the
actually-
guy. I'm
yeah,
like
yeah.
the guy in the Pokemon 2000 movie where I just catch all.
So you're essentially Lugia. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So-
Well, I meant the collector guy, but yeah, I'll be Lugia too.
So to to go back a little, I do actually really like this Sprite try list.
It is
I
very fun. I will say it is
Yeah.
very fun and very consistent.
yeah,
Yeah.
I actually kind of like. I've always liked Tribe, and the only reason I never built it was because I bought Flu instead. But like, I don't know, I kind of dig this, but I don't know if I want to drop the money on Blue right now. And I think Blue is still really expensive, and I just don't really. I don't care to do that at this time. It's just too much money.
We also don't know how well that deck is gonna translate over here. I mean,
Right.
like I always take into example the Phantom Knights. They
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
they did nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yep.
Absolutely
I
sure
mean,
did.
actually, I played when I went to GC once. I played Phantom Knights, but he was just scythe locking, and I slapped the shit out of him with Droplet, and then punched him in the face with
Yeah,
heroes.
remember when scythe locking was a thing?
Oh yeah.
Remember that card? Remember when
I,
I was
uh,
like, this card needs to be
Just like
banned?
that.
I was
Oh,
crying for it to
100%.
get banned too.
I was
No, it was
also.
bad. It was bad. It was bad. It should have gone, even though it didn't. It should have gone.
Power
But
Cube was a hell of a thing.
yeah, I like these lists in the OCG. Honestly, I find these lists, just looking at them, to be more interesting than the ones we have over here right now at this time. They even have a Thunder Dragon, Bestial Thunder Dragon. That's
You need to call it by its name. Grass Super Heavy Samurai Ishizu Thunder Dragon Punk Bestial.
You're right.
The fuck?
Interesting.
Gisi Tigdi Pumpa. That's their version of based.
Yeah, honestly.
Gisi Tigdi Pumpa.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, that's I don't know. I don't know. I like it.
Hey, Lightsworn made it.
Lightsworn.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
maybe
Adventure
so.
Shizu Lightsworn.
That's
Oh,
never
God.
coming over here.
No.
No.
They still have Chaos Dragon.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they
I
do.
feel like we might get Chaos Dragon back. Could see that.
Okay, so I know this isn't I know we're about to wrap up soon and this isn't a ban list episode, but there is one coming soon in February, I think.
Maybe.
And I am, and this isn't just me coping, or maybe it is. Meow is coming to one, dude. Listen, it's
That was
happening.
Electromite.
Meow is coming to one. Actually, you know what, Joe? Honestly, Electromite to one, I'm actually on board with. I don't
Yeah.
really think that's a problem.
No,
I
not at
think
all.
that
Just
they
play
kind of
Beyond. Just play Beyond the Pendulum.
no, Beyond is so Beyond is so bad compared
That's
to
Electromite at home.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really bad.
see?
It's really bad.
You don't need
Just
it.
like how Kartorhin is Meow at home. It's not the same. So like I think Meow's coming to one, dude. I think Meow is going to come to 1, and it will make no tangible difference in our meta at all, other than just bringing me a little bit of joy.
I
mean,
think
I
you're
think
coping.
I think Prank Kid Adventure definitely got already very outclassed by every other deck
Yeah,
right now.
like
You say that
imagine
now.
imagine if you're like, oh, Prank Kid Adventure, I'm going to put up 1 Omni Negate and a double Raigeki. Do you think Tier Limits gives a single
Okay,
fuck?
but like I was mentioning to Mel, once Tier Limit is gone, oh man, all these decks are gonna be so much fun to play. I
Mm-hmm,
think.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
and I mean they want that, right? Or I would think so, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not Konami. I'm just saying though. I think Meow is coming to 1, and I don't think it's a problem. And I think that I think Colossus might come back to 1, dead ass. And I think if Colossus comes back to 1, I might have to spend a lot of money on Thunder Dragons. I've always
Well,
had a thing for
I will
that
say,
deck.
get it if you think it's gonna do it. Get it now, because
Yeah.
I
agree.
know, I know, I know. I just have
I've
to.
held on to my Thunder Dragon core for years,
I love Thunder
just
Dragons. I've
waiting.
always loved that deck. I've always liked that deck. It's cool. It's so cool. But Colossus is, he's a
I mean,
problem.
maybe Volcanics will also get a
Shut up.
a little
oh
something
yeah,
then.
that the
Yeah.
fire pack just got announced.
Just to
We
leave
only
that.
need Salaman great support. The entire deck, the entire list needs to be salad support. That's
And
it.
then we get and then we get Marinza support that's treated as water.
Fire.
Yep.
We talked about this, George. You're gonna get the Salaman Great. It's gonna be
Kukari.
Salaman Great token, and it's gonna be just a cinder with a giant rock behind it
Yeah.
in the
Classic.
Salaman Great Sanctuary.
Classic Salaman great
The
envoy.
classic salad
I
support.
actually think some new salad support would be pretty cool. Actually, I think
Yeah.
that'd be pretty neat.
We talked about this. The salad support is the cards coming off the ban list. That's all they need, and they'll actually be.
No, I think it's like with Sky Strikers. They need more than that.
You're telling me that if Engage was at 3, Skyscraper would need something else to play?
No, but
Enga-
if
en-
it was
no,
a
no, no,
2,
no.
it would not be that big of a
Salad
difference
needs
currently.
engage.
I think that
You have one. It's
Engage.
called Silent Mining.
I think that I actually think Engage. I think I think Engage is funny at 1.
That is once per turn. Sorry.
I think Engage is funny at 1 because whenever you have it in grave, your opponent has this knee jerk reaction to banish it. When a lot of the time the better card to banish is like Ray, and you cripple your opponent, but they're like, no, not Engage. I remember 2019, and you're like, okay, dude, and then you just keep doing the thing.
PTSD is a hell of a thing.
Yeah, it's like you bet if you really know Sky Striker and you play a Sky Striker player and you banish their Ray, you just see the light die in their eyes and you're like, yeah, now you can't do anything. Fuck you. And then they
Well,
lose. It's great.
now we have linkage, which isn't too bad anymore.
That's very true. I do
We haven't
I do
had the
love my
chance.
linkage.
We haven't had the chance to really play it out with linkage.
I was playing it a little bit before I got cash, but now that I have Kashtira, I feel like I have to use it. There's a sword of Damocles hanging over that deck, so I gotta play it while I can.
It's always gonna have its time in the sun.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. Well, we thank you all for listening. We've been trying to put out more content for you, and also we hope you like it. Please make sure to follow us on our socials. We have it's Heart of the Podcast on Instagram. We're on YouTube as well. So if you prefer to listen to these on YouTube, please go give us some follows and likes there. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that YouTube stuff.
And if you want to send us an email, George, what's the email? George.
Nice.
Yep. Sorry. Heart of the podcast at gmail.com. Send us any comments, requests, thoughts.
Yeah, we could read them.
Some giveaway shit. We can do that too.
We can read them on the pod if you send us.
Yeah.
anything
If
funny.
you want to just talk shit about us, that's cool too. We
Yeah,
can
oh, yeah.
with the pod. Yeah. We've been hurt before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you have any questions for Nick, I will happily read them in the next podcast. If anybody want to ask.
For me specifically?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Sure, Nick, yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. An Ask Nick segment.
Yeah, ask Nick segment. Like just what about
Yeah,
Nick?
I guess so. I guess. Why me though specifically? Do they do something?
I guess we'll
That's
find
how it
out, right?
Is there?
So send us an email and we'll find out.
I see. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm friendly. And yeah, actually, send us stuff to the Instagram. I'm trying to keep it up to date. And we all run it together. But yeah, send us Instagram stuff if you want,
Mhm.
and follow our
Oh, yeah.
handsome faces. I also have our personals there.
I swear I don't look like that in real life.
He
Yeah.
doesn't. He doesn't. It was just really funny. and
Yeah,
I figured
we all
I
have
kind of
Kind of.
I
No,
kind of felt
actually,
obligated to do it.
we kind of look alike. People have
You're right.
mistaken us for twins. So
Yeah, no, yeah, you guys are really like. Are you sure you don't have the same parents?
We do. We're twins.
we
Yeah,
do.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. We
crazy.
did the 27 and me.
27 in me.
Yeah.
We got it from the 99-cent store.
The
Very nice.
27 different flavors of people.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Well, take
No,
it
did
go
you
ahead.
sign us
Take it
out?
away. Take it away. Go ahead. Do
Come on,
it.
No,
Nick.
it's not.
Oh,
It's not
Nick,
Come on,
do
right.
it
Nick.
now. You
Come
have
on, Nick.
to.
Come on, do
Oh
it. You already
shit.
started.
Okay. Well, so this has been Heart of the Podcast. I'm Nick.
I'm
I
Joseph.
knew you would mess it up already.
What do you mean? Oh
Oh,
fuck.
Okay,
It's
there
part
you
of
go.
the podcast with
Oh.
MSTC.
Oh,
Fine, I'll
leave this.
I'll
No,
edit
leave
it
this.
out. I'll edit
No,
it out.
I think.
no, don't edit it out.
No,
Okay,
leave. Yeah,
fine.
leave this in. Leave this in. Leave this in.
All right.
One
Thanks.
more time.
Try
Okay,
again.
so this is Heart of the Podcast with MSTC. I'm Nick.
I'm Joseph.
I am not Joseph.
And I'm Mel.
I'm not George.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
There you go. That was it.